Folks, welcome in. It is Sunday, and it's time to talk some NFL football right here on Bookmakers Review. I'm Donnie RightSide. He is Kyle Purvianceas. This is Week 12, and we are ready, Kyle, to get after the best 30 minutes of anybody's life here, Kyle.
I mean, time's going by way too fast. I feel like Christmas is coming too fast. It's giving me anxiety. We're about to be talking about Week 13 tomorrow. Think about that. That is absolutely insane. I hope everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving with their families. It's the end of the Thanksgiving Day weekend. Let's get some more winners today. I got a couple team totals I like, or one that I really like, and some others that I'm still waiting to pull the trigger on.
Yeah, let's have some fun and get after it here and see what is what. So we do have an abbreviated card. Why is that? Because we had Thanksgiving football, which gave us 3 games. So this week, a little bit shorter on the games, but obviously not short, Kyle, here on the knowledge. If you guys haven't done so yet, if you're watching us here live on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn your notification bell on. We go live and talk NFL action. Both myself and Kyle, you'll get it delivered right to your inbox. Also, if you're watching through the Twitter page here, give us a follow at BMR Reviews, and let's get after it, Kyle. Here we go, 251, 252. And again, I don't know who's betting Tennessee here, and we're going to break this down in a second. Tannehill is going to be quarterback. Mac Jones is going to be quarterback. If we're looking in Foxborough today, decent weather, chilly conditions, obviously, late in December for the Northeast. This number has really gotten away. The look-ahead line was 2.5 before the game, I believe, last Sunday. Now we're sitting at 7.5 on game day, Kyle. 42.5 to 43 across the board as a total. When you look at this game, the issue I have with betting New England here, who I do think is going to win this football game, don't get me wrong, but is this one of those games where, Kyle, they say, we don't really have to do much. Let's just not turn the football over, and there's no way that Tennessee can beat us here. So instead of trying to pick a side in this one, it's a low total at 43 across the board.
Yep.
Hey, number one, where is Tennessee's points coming from? And number two, you saw it last week, right? Atlanta stinks. 25-0. 25 total points scored in that game last week. I'm looking under in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the Titans team total, it's a little bit alarming, right? The Titans usually looking at a 24.5, 20. It's 16.5 minus 120. So the Titans have all of a sudden become one of those pain teams that we talk about. You know, the Lions, the Jets, the Texans, the Jags. I looked at it long and hard, honestly. I'm like, how do I not take the Titans team total? But you just can't. I mean, it's easier to say who is playing for the Titans than who's not playing. The list goes on and on and on. Without their 3 best, maybe 4 best weapons on offense, if you include Jeremy McNichols out of the backfield on third down. So, I mean, it's Patriots or nothing here. There's this little 1-game parlay, Patriots minus 6.5, Patriots score first, but you'd have to get the over 43.5. That's at plus 325. So if you think the Titans are going to score, maybe that's a route you can go. I also like this one, Damian Harris, anytime touchdown, Deontay Foreman, anytime touchdown, plus 450. If you're looking for the Titans to get a touchdown here, probably not short yardage situation with Foreman, who's sort of taken over the lead back. Tough game. Patriots are nothing for me, but I'm staying the hell away from it.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one here. I like the under, and I think that's the way to go in this game. But again, we're not talking about count under 51, right? Mm-hmm. 1 pick six, 1 fumble in your own side of the field, and that could be a deterrent. But also keep in mind, when you're trying to use numbers for the Tennessee Titans to say, Donnie and Kyle, they got a pretty good offense here. Not very many offenses, like when they lose the best running back in football and 2 starting wide receivers. So you're basically down to nothing except for Ryan Tannehill. And Bill Belichick scheming for you on the opposite side, and you are on the road. Tough sledding here for Tennessee, as we believe here on the road. Thanks, everybody, for coming in here to the chat box and saying hello. It is much appreciated. Let's get to the next game here. And this is a toilet bowl, the Jets and the Houston Texans. I got to say, Kyle, if anybody but Zach Wilson was starting for the Jets, I would have bet the Jets team total today. But Zach Wilson is starting. Not to say, Kyle, he can't have a good day against an atrocious defense. But are we willing to jump back in on a rookie on the road who hasn't played in quite some time? I'm not ready to do that. Minus 2.5 to 3s across the board as a favorite here for the Houston Texans. 44.5, Kyle's a team total. The way I look at this game, I don't look at it. So go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it's not on the red zone too much. But I will say, I actually bet the Texans minus 2.5 earlier in the week. I like taking a bad team every week, and it seemed to really work out for me this year. The Texans are my bad team today. It's just a fade of Zach Wilson for me. I just don't think he's ready. I don't think they would want to start him had the other quarterbacks not been on the COVID list. It doesn't even seem like he wants to play if you hear some of the reports out of New York. So I like the Texans here. I think they get it done. I almost took a sprinkle on the Texans team total over 20.5 at minus 125. I know that's a lot of pain. I didn't do it. I stayed a little bit away from it, but I will say I think the Texans win this game. I took a minus 2.5 and I put half a unit on it.
You know what's funny about this game, Kyle? You take a look at Houston because you see last week, like, oh, they scored 22 points, and how'd they do? They had 83 yards on the ground and 107 in the air. The previous
Yeah.
game, these are both with Tyrod Taylor, too. 73 on the ground, 199 in the air. I mean, you talk about two teams in the NFL that the NFL probably doesn't care about, but they got to play each other. And it's a shame, too, right? Because if you had a good Houston offense and a good Jets offense, they would beat the hell out of each other, these defenses out here.
Yeah.
And again, what don't you have to worry about in Houston? It's a dome. It's going to be good weather. So
Exactly.
something to keep an eye on this one. We'll see how it goes. But for me, 2-8 teams, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to try to find an edge in this one. Philadelphia and the New York Giants here up in the Meadowlands. Taking a look at this game here, Kyle, to set it up. Look, it's an Eagles, it's and really more than Eagles line now. The threes were there all week, Kyle. The 3.5s were this morning. Now we're seeing 4s across the board, even a 4.5 here in New Jersey at PointsBet. 45 as a total. Here's the tough part about it, because it is a divisional game. And you say sometimes when you buy low, right? The Giants were so horrendous on Monday night and looked like they were disinterested and certainly not talented at all. And that's a dangerous combination. You fire Jason Garrett. That doesn't mean you're just going to open up the offense, but they'll try some new things. But the simple fact that I saw last week, Daniel Jones was scared to play in that football game. He said, well, pro football, they're not really scared. Not from a perspective like, oh, my God, I don't want to play football. But the minute you get the snap, Kyle, oh, my God, the pass rush is coming. Let me get rid of the football. Interception. Woo! I don't have to play another 3 plays here. At least I'm not on the field anymore. That's honestly what it looked like for Daniel Jones. It hurt my wallet last week. The Eagles should be able to control the run game because that is a bad Giants defense. So if Jalen Hurts plays his normal, 50 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, throws a touchdown or 2, 140 yards on offense, passing wise, they're probably going to beat the Giants because the Giants don't offer that much for me. Now, the fact it's up to 4 now, which means what? You got to go on the road. You got to win by a touchdown. Also, keep in mind, the Eagles are playing really good football, and their offense, whether it's running the ball or not, looks like it's high octane, dropping 25s, 35s, 40 points a game, which is kind of insane when you think about it. But this also, Kyle, is a team that's still learning how to win with a rookie quarterback, basically a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach on the road. You're supposed to win this game. I think the Eagles do. Not in love with the game, but there's no way, Kyle, I can go with the Giants. I just can't do it.
No, especially at home, right? Daniel Jones, for as bad as he is even worse at home. So you start to get concerned there. I think it's Miles Sanders Day. I really do. I love Miles Sanders in DFS. I think he's going a little overlooked. You're absolutely right. That front for the Giants is terrible on both sides of the ball. That Hernandez kid playing right guard might be the worst guard I've ever seen play football. I mean, ever. Honestly, he's really, really bad. Daniel Jones is going to be under duress. It doesn't give me a lot of hope that Freddie Kitchens is now calling the plays for the Giants. I'll pass on that. It's Eagles or nothing. I don't love the number now, sitting at 4 on the road. That you're right. They do have to wait for, win by a touchdown. But there's no way I'm backing the Giants if I'm betting anything here. It's the Eagles. And I like the Miles Sanders over 68.5 yards rushing. I think it's a big Miles Sanders day. I just don't see how they stop that Eagles ground game in New York today.
Yeah, it's a good point you bring up, too, because the Eagles offensive line is nasty. The Giants defense isn't very good. But also you're saying, well, Miles Sanders doesn't get used all that much. Well, Jordan Howard's down. I mean, that was a guy that's going to take, double-digit carries this weekend? Yep. He's not playing. He's on the inactive list, obviously, getting the knee injury last week against the New Orleans Saints. So Boston Scott will get his, but you're looking now, Gainwell will be back in the rotation. But obviously they weren't so happy with him where he was deactivated last week. But look, you're right. The lead back here should be Miles Sanders on turf. He's one of those guys too, Kyle. We have oh no, only got 30 yards late in the third quarter. Whoa, there he goes for 40 yards off left end. He can do that. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. But I do like the Eagles. Over under at 45. It's hard to gauge, but I guess I would have to say over, Kyle. Just for the simple fact is you could probably pencil the Eagles in for mid-20s here. And as long as the Giants just don't I guess they're capable of doing it, but
of course
the defense to me, the front 7 is much better for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and scared, Daniel Jones in the pocket. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but you are down Kadarius Toney and Sterling Shepard and still waiting for Kenny Golladay to wake up this year. Probably a slight lean for me on the over, Kyle.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Now, the Giants are the part that scares you, of course, but you're right. The Eagles team total, I almost penciled in 24.5 minus 115. I do think they score. Miles Sanders, anytime touchdown, I think he scores. This. I just have this feeling it's Miles Sanders day today. He's going to have a big game, in my opinion. There's nothing that the Giants are doing right now that would make you back them in any way, shape, or form. Kenny Golladay has not lived up to that contract, and Kadarius Toney, he looks like a little Tyreek Hill. It's a shame he's not in the game. He's a lot of fun to watch. Without him, they lose some of that explosivity in the offense. Eagles are nothing for me.
Yeah, sounds about right here for us. Let's go to Tampa Bay and Indianapolis. Certainly one of the games of the day, but certainly the game of the 1 o'clock hour. We're probably going to expect that Tennessee-New England game to be monstrous, but obviously with all the injuries now, a 7.5-point line. The world champions are going into Indianapolis, who Indianapolis fresh off a straight-up spanking of the Buffalo Bills. Tampa Bay destroyed the New York Giants. Well, Tampa Bay basically destroys everybody at home outside that Cowboys game to open the season. Now you're looking at Indianapolis hanging around, and this is going to be key because you're seeing 3s and 2.5s depending on where you're shopping at. And of course, if you like Tampa Bay, you're going to shop and get the 2.5. If you like the Indianapolis Colts, you're going to get the 3. This has been a tough game for me because I started off early in the week, Kyle, with the Indianapolis Colts saying they're going to give it a run for the money because they always do. They're healthy now. They should be able to take on Tom Brady, who struggled, quite frankly, on the road. But as the later in the week goes, I was worried a little bit about Mike Evans. He's going to play. Godwin is in. Obviously, Antonio Brown is out, but Rob Gronkowski is back, which makes a big difference in this offense. Leonard Fournette maybe to try to control the ground game. I think we get points in this game. As much as you want to say, like, hey, they're going to hand off to Jonathan Taylor, both of these offenses are going to get into the 20s here, Kyle. Shocked if this game ends 21-17. That's not going to be the case here. Both, you're looking at Carson Wentz playing at a decent level, Tom Brady playing at a high level. They're not going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust out here. And the simple fact is you have a devastating run defense, Kyle, on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against a really good run offense. You know what that opens up? Either Jonathan Taylor busting through the line of scrimmage, or you could set up some decent play action versus that secondary. Both of these teams outside of Antonio Brown healthy, and also Vita Vea. I didn't check here.
Vita Vea, I just looked at Vita Vea. He's going to play. Darius Leonard is going to miss for the Colts.
Leonard is out.
Wow. Darius Leonard out. So I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Vita Vea is a massive cog in that rushing defense for Tampa Bay. When he is in the game, you're not running the ball up the middle against the Bucs. So if Vita Vea is able to play a full snap count, things just got exponentially tougher for Jonathan Taylor. Both of these secondaries are very
Darius Leonard's in.
Darius Leonard in. Did I misread that?
I was like, what? Like, I did research on that real quick. I'm like, whoa.
Sir, Darius Leonard and Vita Vea will play. I don't know why I thought it said out, but it's early over here on the West
ready to
Coast,
run to the window.
There you go. Exactly. But I still do lean Tampa Bay here. Both these teams are going to have to throw it. Both teams have really good front sevens. You're not going to see a ground and pound style beat Tampa Bay with Vita Vea in. I love this one game parlay in here. Chris Godwin over 80 plus yards and Michael Pittman 75 plus yards at plus 300. Look, you'll hear the announcers. Oh, Tampa Bay gets a boom because Sean Murphy-Bunting came back. Sean Murphy-Bunting is god-awful. I know he had a couple interceptions in the postseason, but Sean Murphy-Bunting's not a good player. He's giving up 24% completion rate on targeted defensive routes, over 0.4 of a fantasy point per route ran against. He will commit the pass interference penalties as well. That moves the chains for the offense. Both teams should move the ball here. For me, I think the Buccaneers passing game just a little bit more prolific, actually a lot more prolific than the Colts passing game. I think that's what it comes down to in this one. So I lean the Buccaneers.
Yeah, me too. And I do. And again, I swung that over because the right play, the sharp play is to take the Indianapolis Colts in this game with the 3 points. And that's the way I started the week. But, just because it's a sharp play and a sharp line doesn't always mean it works out in that direction. I think Tampa Bay, if push comes to shove in this game, Tampa Bay, to me, overall is the better team, and that's not taking anything away from the Colts, man. They're playing one of the best teams in football. We'll see how that one plays out. I'll tell you one team that's not playing some of the best football. That's the Atlanta Falcons coming to town to take on Jacksonville. Tell me, 2 just devastatingly bad offenses. And I got to tell you, Kyle, I see 1.5 on the board for the Atlanta Falcons as a favorite. I think Jacksonville wins this football game today. Deion Jones is going to miss the game for Atlanta. Until Calvin Ridley comes back, they're a pop gun offense. Oh, no, Cordell Patterson is back. I don't care. Like, Matt Ryan can't throw the ball more than 5 yards in this game. Sign me up for Jacksonville. Do I want to bet it? No, but I'm looking at this line going, I can't take Atlanta any way, shape, or form. They stink.
Yeah, not as a favorite, right? How the hell are we taking the Falcons as a favorite? And it's kind of just a mean thing from the football gods here to do it against Jacksonville, another team we like to fade. Both these teams stink. I sort of lean the under in this game, which makes me nervous because when you start doing that, then you have these 2 bad offenses and you get these fluky, goofy plays that sort of kill your under, right? So it's a complete stay away game for me. If I was going to bet it, I'm with you. I'm dog or pass. I'll take the home underdog here. You just can't trust the Falcons. I suppose it's dog or pass. Won't touch the team totals. I'm looking at props. Not a lot to love there. I mean, this one,
it's like the Jets game.
This has to be one of those Saturday nights where you went home with the wrong girl. You forget it ever happened, and you hope that you gave her the wrong name. That's what this game is right here.
Wrong telephone number. Donnie, who wins on a neutral field, Jets or Jacksonville? If the Jets have anybody but Kyle, Zach Wilson, I probably would take the Jets because the Jets actually have a little bit of talent on offense when they're healthy. So that's a tough question to ask, though. It's kind of crazy as we take a look. All right, Carolina and Miami, 261, 262. Yeah. Cam Newton goes on the road. They lost last week to the Washington football team. I liked Washington last week. So this one, and this is, I gave this out early on BMR for our For the Win show on Thursday, the over 41.5, which 41s are out there right now, and I still like it. But that was an earlier show this week, which came up on a Wednesday. So, that we got to have our picks in early Wednesday. So I'm saying, okay, here's what I know is probably going to happen with the Miami Dolphins. Tua is playing decent football here. I don't really love that Carolina defense, even though I think it's decent. But I think Will Fuller and Devontae Parker might be back, or at least one of them is going to get back. Well, these guys are just stealing game checks out here at this point. Now, neither one of them are back for the game. So I can't put that out there and be like, hey, you liked it, now you don't know. I still have to ride with it, and I still do think it gets there. Christian McCaffrey should be able to move the football here for the Carolina Panthers. Do I love Cam Newton? No, but he should be able to do enough on the ground, just like last week, right? 50 or so yards here rushing, maybe a rushing touchdown. McCaffrey eats a little bit. Tua Tagovailoa throws the football around the field. I still think he gets over, but I liked it a lot more earlier in the week when I thought we might be getting back something here for the Miami Dolphins on offense, particularly at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, this one's tough. For me, I do think Carolina's the slightly better team here, and they're certainly a little healthier, right? Especially with their offensive weapons, getting McCaffrey back, et cetera. We don't know what we're getting out of the Dolphins. But God, taking Cam Newton as a favorite makes me sick. But I do think they're the better team here. I do that both these secondaries are opportunistic. The Dolphins will probably try to showcase the passing game a little bit more than the Panthers do. Carolina, it's going to be a lot of, RPOs and short passes to McCaffrey and handoffs to McCaffrey, which should limit the turnovers here. I'd lean Carolina. I don't love it. I don't think these are two real bad quarterbacks, in my opinion. I don't think Tua is very good. Obviously, Cam Newton's not very good. It's scary to take him as a road favorite. Very scary. But right now, when I just look at the complete package, even though that Dolphins defense is playing better, I got to lean Carolina here. I just think they're going to be able to move the ball a little bit better on the ground, and that Carolina front should be able to limit what Myles Gaskin and company do in the running game.
Yeah, 21-20 gets you a push in that game. I can certainly see that's doable here, but I do wish, and again, this is another one of those things, Kyle. We'll talk about this repeatedly through the season. I'm still waiting to take the Washington football team, which tomorrow night might have all their weapons finally back. So when the Miami Dolphins, who stink, and Tua finally gets back, Will Fuller, Devontae on one side, Waddle in the slot. Okay, now you're going to buy, they only score 17 points. No, they're going to score more because why? They actually have some weapons back. It's the same thing we talked about with Tennessee, right? Hey, Tennessee's offense is pretty good. No, it's not pretty good because they don't have the same guys that are going to be able to move the football up and down the field. Let's get to the last 1 o'clock game here. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Roethlisberger and the boys headed on the road for the Steelers. They are a 3.5-point dog here. Total crashing here. Opened up at 46.5 at FanDuel. We're now down to 43.5. Latest updates on the weather conditions. It's not bad, Kyle. About 44 degrees at kickoff, 10 miles an hour. So it's probably as good as you're going to get this time of year in Cincinnati. And I always ask this question to you. Is it simple as if the Pittsburgh Steelers are an underdog, you take them? If they're a favorite, you fade them. Because now, you say, their defense stunk last week. Well, your defense is going to stink when Minka Fitzpatrick's out and TJ Watt is out. Both of those guys are going to play today. I didn't see I'm going to assume that Joe Hayden is out today.
He's out. He got ruled out yesterday,
Yeah, so he's out, which will hurt them a little bit. I do like Cincinnati and like the way they play football, but this game screams to me 27-24, 24-21, either way, close football game. I would be surprised if Cleveland bounced the Pittsburgh Steelers good today. I think it's going to be a close game. And do I want to take the points? No, but anytime the Steelers are the points with Mike Tomlin, I'm going to lean on that. Give me the 3.5 with the Steelers in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I actually got it at 4.5 earlier in the week. And for that matter, my second favorite team total on the card today is the Steelers team total over 19.5 minus 135. I think they get to 20 points. That Bengals defense is not very good. You're going to see a ton of Najee Harris. They're going to get the ball back more this week, as you mentioned. Now they have TJ Watt back, strip sack fumbles, putting them in third and longs, getting better field position, as well as Minka Fitzpatrick back in that secondary is a big boost there. It's dog or pass once if you're picking a side here. I'm with you. I like the Steelers. I think the Steelers can win this game outright. I'm not sold on the Bengals. Certainly not sold on the Bengals as a favorite.
No.
But this team total over at BetMGM, over 19.5, 135. I'll be surprised if the Steelers don't get to 20 points here. Big game out of Najee Harris. The Bengals front seven is absolutely putrid. They should get to 20 points. So I'm not going to worry about who wins it. Just get me to 20 Pittsburgh. I might even throw a tweet on that out here in a second as well.
All right, a little bit of a line movement here for us. 265, 266. The first 4 o'clock game of the day takes place out in Denver. And it's cold here. It's cold where Kyle's at. It's cold where I'm at here. But how about in Denver? It's supposed to be cold in the Rockies, right? You're going to be in the mid 60s today with light wind. So optimum scoring conditions. The total is 47. I like that. But also, you're seeing a shift now. -2.5 all week long here, Kyle, for the Chargers. That is now sitting at 3 across the board. And I got to say, I do agree with it because I think the Chargers will be able to win this game. Denver's coming off a bye. But, Teddy Bridgewater, steady Teddy, I get it. With Justin Herbert's on, and he's gassing out there with his wide receivers healthy. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, much more healthy than he was just a few weeks ago. Eckler's been absolutely tremendous. And that left side of their offensive line is tremendous here. I don't see a lot stopping that offense there. And vice versa. If Teddy can get it going, I think they could put up some yards and some points against that Chargers defense, which outside of Bosa hasn't really shown up all that much this year. So if I'm looking from a betting perspective, I like the over 47 in this game, Kyle.
Yeah, over 47 is the way to go, in my opinion. I have no idea who's going to win this game. It wouldn't shock me if either team wins. I do think the Chargers are certainly the better offense, but when you flip it to the defensive side, the problem for me betting the Chargers, they just can't stop the run. It is hard to watch them. And then you hear the dumb comments by Chris Collinsworth. Well, the Chargers almost do that on purpose, right? No NFL team gives up 5.5 yards a carry every single play for an entire game on purpose. Shut the hell up, Chris Collinsworth. Nobody does that. But the fact of the matter is that's what they do. I mean, when you rewatch their games, almost every offensive play, their defensive line is 4 or 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, offensive lines are firing off the ball. I love the Melvin Gordon little revenge spot here. Over 49.5 yards rushing at -115. I realize they do sort of 50-50 this with Javonte Williams, the rookie. But Melvin Gordon against his own team, against what I think is the worst rushing defense in the league. I think he gets to 50 yards rushing. I like that prop. And for me, I went with the over here, not touching a side. I just don't know who's going to win the game. It wouldn't shock me if either team wins. And when the Chargers are on, they're on. But when they're off, when Herbert's just a little bit off, that team looks really bad. A lot of Jekyll and Hyde here, and I'm just concerned about their ability to stop the run. That's what stopped me from taking a side here on the Chargers.
Yeah, you got weapons in this game. You got 3 really good wide receivers on the Denver Broncos, 2 really good ones on the Chargers, 2 good running backs here on the Broncos, a really good one in Austin Eckler. And just a matter of Teddy Bridgewater brings his, B game, at least in this, you should be able to get to those 47 points here. 425 again. I'm really looking forward to this one here. Minnesota and San Francisco, Cousins and Garoppolo. Now, triply, you say, okay, Kirk Cousins, 21 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions here. I think he plays well today. We're seeing a 48 opening number as a total, now sitting at 49. I agree with that, but I've liked this side all weekend long, Kyle, or all week long, I should say. The San Francisco 49ers, they opened up at 3, now moving to 3.5 at a lot of places here. I think San Francisco is the better side coming into their own. They've established their identity. We are going to blow you off the football, and the Vikings, damaged goods now on that front line. They should have their way. Kyle Shanahan should get that running game cranked up, which will leave a lot of room on the outside for Deebo Samuel, George Kittle over the middle, Brandon Ayuk. I think they do some damage in this game and win this by a touchdown. I like San Francisco in this game a lot.
Well, I'm certainly hope you're right, and I do think they are the better team. And you mentioned all those woes on the front 7 for the Vikings. How are they going to stop the run? And there's nobody in the NFL who schemes up a better run game plan than Kyle Shanahan, right? So we do expect the 49ers to be able to move the ball. I don't want to jinx them and take the side. I do think they're the better team. If I was betting a side, I would lean the 49ers here. But I do, and they've been real bad at home. I think there's something like 1-9, 2-10 in their last 11, 12 home games. It's been hard to watch. The Vikings team total, I think, is too low. I don't understand it. 22.5 -120 over at BetMGM. It's hard for me to imagine that Vikings offense with those 2 wide receivers in that running game against a beat-up secondary, against guys like, Emmanuel Mosley and the corpse of Josh Norman. Jefferson and Thielen should eat here. I think the Vikings easily get to 23 points. It's a nice price at -120. It's actually moved a little bit. It was -125, -130 earlier in the week. So I'll go against the public there and go against the money and take that Vikings team total over 23 and hope my 49ers win. I'll certainly be rooting for them. If I'm taking a side, I agree. And I agree with the over. Both teams should be able to move the ball here. You just start to get concerned. Are the Niners going to do one of these 8, 9, 10-minute drives where they're just running it over and over again against an overmatched defensive front for the Vikings? Give me that Vikings team total. Put it out on Twitter. It's my official play of the day.
Yeah, it's a good one. If you guys aren't following, myself or Kyle at DFS Bachelor, myself at RightSide VP, we put just about everything up. I don't even care if it's college football. I posted, and I have a lot of prop bets up here today. If you guys want to partake in that and have some fun, make some sense. And also, I haven't put out a team total or a play of the day yet. I will. There's 2 games I'm looking forward to. We just went over the last one here, Kyle, which was not the 49ers game, but it was the Denver Broncos and the Chargers. But we're going to bring up these next 2 games, which will be interesting. I'm going to tell you which one I'm actually leaning towards. I'm just waiting on a price, and we'll break that as well. Rams and the Green Bay Packers. Here we go, right? -2.5 favorite to -2, depending where you're shopping at for the Rams coming on the road off a bye week. You figure that Sean McVay is going to get this thing going. But at the same time, something was wrong with Matthew Stafford the past couple of weeks and that offense. Couldn't quite pinpoint it here. Okay, we'll see if we can dial it up. And now you're saying elbow, back, ankle, shoulder, whatever. Like, it's clear something is wrong, and it's still something wrong here with Matthew Stafford. So we're going to take this thing on the road in 30-degree weather, like we're just going to be healthy again, and hey, Odell Beckham's going to tear this up. I've been saying it all week long. The more talented team here is the Rams. But if you're going to give me Aaron Rodgers at home getting points against a team, because again, Kyle, this isn't the Rams coming in 40 points, 45 points. They're going to roll over. This is the Rams the past 2 weeks that were god-awful on offense. Give me the Packers, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I will always take Aaron Rodgers at home getting points. I mean, he has an 82% win percentage at home. They're exponentially better at home.
Yeah.
And now Matthew Stafford's he's one of those side effect commercials that you see for Cialis, right? He's got all the side effects. He's got every single one of them.
He's got COVID toe.
He's got COVID toe. It's not good. And that Packers defense has been overperforming, especially with the injuries in the secondary. You thought they'd be a little bit vulnerable. That has not been the case. Now you have Stafford in freezing cold weather on a team from LA going into Lambeau.
Exactly.
No way. Give me the home dog here. Give me the Packers. Anytime Aaron Rodgers is getting points at home, long term, you will be profitable that way. The Rams, you are absolutely right, are the more talented team. But I like the Packers at home today, and I'll take those points. Aaron Rodgers gets it done. They're the healthier team as well.
I do like them as well, but it's one of those where I'm not ready because I have a prop bet on this game. Actually, no, you know what? I don't think I even took a prop bet on this game. That shows you how much I love this one because it could go either way for me. Like, Aaron Rodgers, man, how could you pass up the points at home? Or you could go, that's why that line was -2, Stone Cold Ram, because it is a Stone Cold Rams line at this point. So we'll see what happens. But the night game tonight, I'm very intrigued with. You got Baltimore, Lamar Jackson's coming back, great week of practice. You got Baker Mayfield saying he's the healthy he's been in a couple weeks. You got Kareem Hunt coming back, Nick Chubb coming back. Also, Donovan Peoples-Jones looks like he's going to play tonight along with Jarvis Landry and a healthy offensive line. I think we get points in this game at 47, but I have to tell you right now, I agree with the line move from the Cincinnati. It's actually opened up at 5 and is now down to 3, but for most of the week, it was in that 3.5 range. I agree with it moving down. Do I think Cleveland can win this game? I do, but that's not really the side I want to go with here, Kyle. But I missed out yesterday and today. I was just waiting on a couple more factors because I didn't want to jump the gun and be like, Landry is going to sit this one out, or Peoples-Jones is going to be out, or Kareem Hunt. Right. They decided to wait another week and not activate him here. Now, we don't know the true actives yet because obviously it's a night game, but everything's pointing the same. I really want to take the Cleveland Browns team total here. It was 20 at -150, which is a little bit expensive, but that's a key number. Now we're sitting on those 20.5s -140, 19.5 at -185. It's a little expensive, but I got to tell you guys right now, forget about the side itself. This is as healthy as Cleveland is going to be all season long. They are going to score into the 20s. I'm just waiting on a price point that makes sense for me, but this is probably going to be my game of the day, Kyle, with the Cleveland Browns team total.
Yeah, that 20.5 is sort of yelling at me as I stare at it on the screen, too, sitting at -140. Look, they get Conklin back as well. That's a huge addition to that offensive line. Now you've got Kareem Hunt. Now you have Nick Chubb. Baker's not falling apart. You're right. Picking a side here, difficult. Baltimore's really hard to trust as a favorite. Their defense is not this vaunted Baltimore defense. So when you're taking a Cleveland team total here, you're not going against the 2000 Ravens. This isn't the Ravens from just a couple years ago, even last year. The Ravens defense, very beatable here. I'm with you. AFC North, tough to pick a winner in this game. I guess if I was leaning aside, I would take the road dog here. I do like how Cleveland looks. But that team total, I think I'm with you here. As I stare at it more, it's right here in the middle of my screen, -140. It's highlighted in gray.
Yep.
I think that Browns team total makes an awful lot of sense. hard to imagine them not getting into the 20s tonight, right?
Yeah, like how they're going to, because, well, look at them. But no, you have to understand there when you find, like, because Baker Mayfield was taken off the actual injury report this week, and all the indicators, it could be wrong, it could be smoke and mirrors. But if you're going to give me a team that says, hey, Donnie, you know what? They're going to be healthy this week more than they have in the past. You are buying them at a low point here. Do you remember the last time these two teams played? I mean, they lit up the scoreboard like a pinball machine. I think they can do the same thing in this, because also the running mate, Kyle, we talk about, right? Because if Lamar Jackson is healthy and back, all three of those young wide receivers, Sammy Watkins, not all that young. So you got Watkins, Bateman, and then also, Marquise Brown. You should get points, which is fantastic. So you can't just run out the clock. I like this game a lot. I'm really looking forward to it, and have a nice Sunday night, play of the day is probably what I'm looking forward to. But that'll do it for the show for us today, Kyle. Quick, easy, smooth, right all the way through. Any final thoughts here for the good people out here on a Sunday? They got a half hour to get ready for the games.
Well, first of all, thank you all for everyone for joining. It's good to see some of the familiar names out in the chat box as well.
We'll
really
build this
appreciate all that. Oh yeah, it'll be all built up there. Again, I hope you all had a great holiday weekend. Let's win some Monday day. The 3 team totals. I'm going to add. I like Donnie's Cleveland.
Love it. See
20
that?
and a half.
Yeah.
Let's add that to the list.
Yeah.
I like that Pittsburgh team total over 19 and a half minus 135. And of course, I like the Vikings over 22 and a half at minus 120.
And all it's coming down for me, I'm probably going to be on this game, but it's one of those, Kyle, do I want the 23 and a half plus money, or do I want to wait to see if that 20 reappears at below 150? That's the only thing I'm waiting on in this, but that's probably where I'm going today. So thank you guys for tuning in here to Bookmakers Review NFL Show. Well, technically, it's the Donnie and the Kyle. So we're going to be tomorrow? Yep. Opening numbers here next week as we start week 13 and talk also about this crazy college football playoff that is setting up. So thank you again, guys, for tuning in here. If you haven't followed us yet on Twitter at BMR Reviews, but that'll do it for the show. I'm Donnie RightSide. He's Kyle Purviance. We are BMR. And as always, good luck on those wagers.